will be called oaks of righteousness on display for his splendor.
Tell him how God made you his friend. I want to sing about that. All right, let's sing about that.
All right, everybody, sing You Call. You call me a friend, brought into your hands to feed, and by the blood I was made, no longer a slave. Now you're taking us higher. We go from glory to glory to glory. We'll never be the same. We'll never be the same. You take us higher, higher, higher. We'll forever change. Until we reach that day, love conquers everything. We're crying holy, holy. And when we see that day, we're standing face to face. We're shouting out, singing glory. And when we reach that day, love conquers everything. We're crying and singing holy, holy. And when we see that day, we're standing face to face. We're shouting and singing holy, holy. You took on the grave, so not even death can shake us. The victor has won, and heaven has come, and now you're taking us higher. And now you're taking us higher. We go from glory to glory to glory. We'll never be the same. We'll never be the same. You take us higher, higher, higher. We're forever changed. We go from glory to glory to glory. We'll never be the same. We'll never be the same. You take us higher and higher, higher. We're forever changed. We're forever
us to point our attention and our focus toward Christ.
And so what I'd like to add to that is building up our inner man or our inner strength. And I'll talk about myself. Oftentimes I put a lot into the outer appearance, and I don't think I'm alone. I need my hair done, and I like to dress every now and again, and can't go wear shoes, and got to get that pedicure, and and again, perhaps some spend time with bodybuilding. And so we invest a lot lot of time in our outer man, which is okay, but when we're faced with life circumstances and tests, we're not attacked from that perspective. It is our inner man, that is being attacked. And so the importance of when we're going to church and the time that we're spending there, is to make sure that we're there allowing ourselves to be strengthened so that whatever we're faced with, we'll be able to withstand. And so, taking away some of the time that's spent from the outer man, I'm not speaking against it because, like I said, I'm guilty, but certainly remaining focused enough to recognize that I need inner strength spiritually in order to be able to overcome, to grow, develop, those characteristics that the Lord is constantly trying to develop in us. Pride sometimes wants us to exercise a little humility sometimes, and forgiveness, and those things don't work too well if he can't get our attention, so again, just building up that inner strength, when we're investing in time by coming to the services.
You might have to remind me of that point. A quick question. How many of you all were here last week? And who was the speaker on last week? Jill was the speaker, all right? So we know that Jill is sitting right there. Can somebody please share with us one point, one thought, something you took away from the discussion on last week? Yes.
Well, what she preached on in the broader sense was God or Jesus is the good shepherd. And one of the interesting things she brought up is that when a shepherd would go to sleep with his sheep at night, he'd get them in this enclosed area where there was only one entrance, and then he would put himself in that entrance when he sleeps so that no sheep could get out and no enemies could get in. And she talked about God's love for us and his protection for us and standing in the gap.
So the seed was planted and the harvest is.
Oh, yeah!
Well, you said it, but I also think she touched on how Jesus made a way for us, how he died for us, and how our sins were forgiven because of what he's done and how much he loves us.
Very good.
So do you want to forfeit this to someone else because I'm your mom and we didn't plan this and you had no idea it's coming? Or do you want to come and get it for yourself?
I'm gonna go right there.
And as we receive and we hear good information, it behooves us to pay attention. I remember one time in high school, back in the day, the teacher was presenting some information because I wasn't paying attention. I can't even remember now, but I was turned around and distracted, and the pointers that they used to have, the long wooden pointers, I'm not dating myself too long, it came flying across my desk. And what the purpose of that was for him to grab my attention, because he figured the information that I'm putting out is far too important for you just to sit and not listen. And so when we think about what Peter went through, being able to overcome fear, overcome adversity, do the impossible simply by focusing on Christ. And in our lives, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be issues, there's going to be things that we have to face that may seem insurmountable or impossible. But if we are focused on Christ, he will allow us to do the impossible. He will allow us to accomplish that which normally we would not think we could do on our own. But by the same token, in the same story, at the same event, when he became distracted, he began to sink. And sometimes when we wonder why are we in a sinking position, or why are we not fulfilling our destiny, or why are we not accomplishing what we feel like we could or should be accomplishing, it could be a sign that our focus has been placed someplace else, or we've been distracted. And distraction is one of the elements that we have to fight against, because when you become distracted, it takes away from your power. I was thinking of a message or lesson that we were speaking on just a few nights ago, and it gave reference to defying the urge to quit. And anytime an individual is not focused in their efforts, the desire to quit will easily surface. If you'll know this, that anything in life that's worth having is going to take hard work. Right? Anything in life worth having takes hard work. And when you become distracted, it's very easy to just throw your hands up and quit. I remember when I was taking some college courses, even at MCC, the challenge of trying to stay focused, working full-time, being an adult student, being married with children, that was a lot of pressure on me. But I decided that what I was trying to accomplish was worth the fight. So I had to regroup, I had to get myself together, refocus, and I was able to pull it through. Although it took me a little bit longer than I wanted to. Yeah, it took me a long time, but with focus I was able to maintain.
Yeah, and so we're talking about where we're investing our time. And so if we feed fear, then we will react in fear. So the more we feed our faith, the less opportunity fear will be able to reside in us, because we are allowing the strength of the Lord to see us through and strengthen us through circumstances and situations. So he shared a story. I wanted to share one when I was in college. Long and short of it, they gave us an assignment. It was at MCC. Gave us an assignment and said, I want you to type up a resume for a job that you like to have. And so long and short of it, I was at JP Morgan part-time back in 1984. And so the position that I applied for, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna ever get this, but I'm going to apply for it anyway. And I went from being a part-time record keeper to an assistant supervisor, just because not only did I send forth the prayers and relied on the faith and the favor and all those good components of being a Christian produces for us when we allow our faith to rest in the Lord. And I was able to get that position, and it was like maybe 4 or 5 levels up. And I mean, I was astonished. I, of course, didn't think I could do it, but I recognized it wasn't me on my own ability, that I was able to accomplish that. So I say that to say, again, that's where our faith comes in and allowing the principles that we're constantly talking about in practice to become a part of what we're living. And it's 34 years later in various roles, but initially it was merely off of try this and see what you can do. So I just wanted to, encourage you again not to limit ourselves by our own ability, which is sometimes one of the distractors. We base what we're looking to accomplish and what we're facing on our own abilities.
When you say own abilities, I think about that we have to manage our lives for ourselves. And I say that because when you're going through difficult times, you have the power, you have the strength, you have the ability not to allow the storm to be in you. It's one thing to